Hello, Australia. Hello, Melbourne. Dear colleagues at the Digra conference, greetings from Brazil. We are sorry we could not attend the conference this year, so we recorded these videos to show some of our work. Um, we are honored to be part of this panel and to talk about video games through our Global South perspective. My name is José Messias. I'm a postdoc researcher here at the graduate program in communication at the Federal Fluminense University, UFI, here in Brazil.
Hello guys, I'm Diego. I'm a PhD candidate here at UF as well. I am also a member of the Global South Thematic Network hosted by Tübingen University. And we also have a third member in the crew, Professor Tayane Oliveira from the Media Department of UF.
We are here to talk about our paper, Playing Beyond Precariousness, the political aspect of Brazilian modding in Pro Evolution Soccer. Our paper talks about these modding communities that are present in social network, more specifically the social network Orkut that was owned by Google until it was recently deactivated in the year 2014. Although the community is deactivated, in their acts of modding the game, they come up with innovative solutions to the technical problems of Brazilian gaming market. Specifically, the one that is called Winning 1110, that was the last one released for the platform PlayStation 2. And they come up with ways to modify the content of Winning 1110 so they can play they update the content and put the new players, like the contemporary soccer players, and the new teams and new logos. Our works basically, to a global south perspective, try to understand the strategies and the technical appropriation that involves this kind of activity of modding Pro Evolution Soccer in Brazil.
As many of you might know already, this Global South concept, tentative concept, certain exercise of thinking the former third world countries from new episteme. So we, following Mignolo, are trying to figure out new ways of thinking and performing from the south. In that sense, that's what connects my work with Jose's and Tayane's. We are looking for ways on how video games can challenge this hegemonic order or this colonial order. What I'd like to point out is that in our research, something interesting we found out that the communities of players, of Pro Evolution Soccer players, is not only a network in the sense that it's not only a group of people connected for some common interest, but they are actually communities in the complex sense of it. So, for instance, they have quite specific temporality, which is not dictated by the market. So if you think about Pro Evolution Soccer, as you all know, is a soccer game who comes out every year in the market with new features, new players, different characteristics for each player. But you know, it's a quite marked-based temporality. So all the features, all the characteristics of the game are based on the capacity and the interests of a global company. What these players do is they add not only new features in the technical sense of it, but they add their own affections, their own modes of seeing the world through these games in the game. They may customize jerseys, but also players' performance, or they may decide that a certain version of the game, for instance, 2002 version, the version from 2002 is better than the version from 2017, and they'll go along with this version because For some reason, they find this more accurate. So there's a certain twist in the hegemonic or the real world, which is highly influenced by the market, real world temporality towards a more effective way of dealing with the artifact. So customizing or hacking video games is not only or not mostly, more importantly, about changing technical features. It's rather about challenging the given technical conditions with personal perspectives, more importantly from the South perspectives, which may include a specific way of dealing with time or a disagreement from the with the company's notion of what is a good performance, what's not a good performance, what is a good player, what's not. So they are challenging certain notion of reality, constituting their own communities where reality then is modified, challenged, and customized according to their own parameters, their own beliefs, their own culture. After all,
I'll just add that looking closely to this community's activities, we found, as Diego mentioned some of them, this desire to play, but in a certain specific way. That for them the global market doesn't provide this kind of experience to them. We see first the necessity to change the names and the logos of the teams, specifically also the graphic part. So meaning the how the players look. The first kind of activity they perform is this graphic and this graphic change related to the licensing per se. So if the Konami, the Japanese company that owns Pro Evolution Soccer, the Pro Evolution Soccer franchise, doesn't have the means to acquire a license to a team name or a logo or the jersey, the community of players, they add it to their version of the game. So in second, what we also have is the necessity to play of course with the favorite teams, and sometimes their favorite teams are not top teams. What we consider the soccer market. So they also add the second, third, and even fourth tier games and leagues. So and that's actually very, very interesting because these players they create the whole leagues in these games. It's so true that the official game, starting with the Pro Evolution Soccer 2016, they added the second tier leagues of French and British, Portuguese, and some other European second tier teams. And the third one, that's maybe the most interesting one, is the technological appropriation. As we said, we're mostly dealing with modding using the PlayStation 2 platform, and we are now on the PlayStation 4 era. So if you look closely, we're talking about a platform, the PlayStation 2, that were released, that were actually deactivated around more than 5 years ago, and it was released almost 20 years ago. And the Brazilian players, not only because of this technological delay, but also because of they favored this platform, the PlayStation 2, they go back to it and they find the ways to build the new games into the PlayStation 2 platform and the PlayStation 2 format, which is actually very interesting. They don't transform it entirely, these new games, the 2017 and 2016 version of the game, into the PlayStation 2. What they do, they take them as the base, as I mentioned, the last Pro Evolution Soccer, the last Winning 11 to be released for PlayStation 2, and they modify it like step by step like changing players' names and even players' faces actually, step by step, and adding them to the platform. So if you think closely, for instance, like some new players like Neymar or even Messi were not around when the winning 11-10 that they used as the base was released. So what they do, they had to reconstruct the faces of these players and put them in the game because that's how they want to play. The focus of our paper is to understand how in the system, in this global, this common condition of precariousness, meaning the way people play is conditioned by market demands, that by licensing, by legal boundaries. How this playing experience is conditioned by all these contexts and how they find the ways to circumvent this common condition of precariousness and find new ways of playing to improve their player experience.
If we agree with Lukács, who once said that revolution in art is to challenge form, what these players are doing, not consciously, not intentionally, it's not their goal, but that's what they're doing, it's politics. They are challenging the structure, they are challenging the software, they are changing aesthetics, and adding their voices to this configuration. What they're doing through hacking is making themselves political, where it matters to them anyway.
Yeah, that was our message for you guys.
You guys have fun and enjoy Australia.
Thank you for the opportunity again. Goodbye.